Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I want to share with you this beautiful card celebrating our retiring in colors. If you haven't taken the opportunity yet, please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down below, ring the bell, and you'll get notifications of future video tips and tutorials. So let's go ahead and grab our paper, Stampin' ink and get started. So paper, this is a very minimal supply project. I have a piece of the Lemon Lime Twist, which is one of our retiring in colors. These are only going to be here through the end of May, so make sure you stock up if you love these colors, especially on things like ink refills, because you don't want those pads to go dry where you can't use them anymore, and some cardstock. So this is our standard 11" by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2 for a top folding card. And then I have 2 panels of Whisper White that are 4 inches by 5 1/4, one for our inside layer and one that we are going to use for the front panel. The stamp set I'm using today is the Daisy Delight stamp set, and the inks I'm using are all of our retiring ink colors. And I have these pads open already because we're going to make this a quick video, but we've got Powder Pink, Berry Burst, Fresh Fig, Tranquil Tide, and Lemon Lime Twist. So I'm going to bring in my block. This is the, let's see, the eye block, and it's great because it's going to go all the way along that panel. Because I'm going to be using this block, I like to go ahead and bring in, if I'm using a block or my photopolymer stamps, a piercing mat to put underneath my paper there, just to get a little bit of cushioning. And very simply, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to lay some color onto this block. Now that powder pink's a little hard to see because it's pretty light, but I'm just tapping on the edge of the stamp pad. I found that the sides are better for this technique than going from the top or the bottom. Easier to get the ink on there. You can put as much or as little as you want of each of these colors, and I'm not even worrying if it's flat or not. I'm just kind of tapping through, and we're just going to go down the line. So that was the Berry Burst, and I'm putting my Fresh Fig on there. I did find it easier to flip this over here and start with my next color, the Tranquil Tide. I just found that easier as I got towards the bottom of the block. And then we're going to come in with the Lemon Lime Twist. And again, that's a lighter color, so it's a little harder to see. Then I am going to take a spray bottle I have, and I'm going to do this off camera. I'm just going to give this some spritzes. And let me turn this paper because I just find it easier to do when it's lined up sideways. So I'm going to give this some spritzes with a water bottle, and I'll be right back on camera. All right, so you can see that ink is already starting to pool up and want to move around, and that's what I want to see. I want to see some bubbling and some moving, but not too much. Now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to use my grid paper to help line up this so I get a nice straight line. I'm going to line up the edge of my block with the edge of the grid paper. It looks like I'm a little bit low on my camera, so let me move that up there so you guys can get a better view. And I'm just going to go on, line up on that first line there. It's probably the most time consuming of this, and I probably overanalyze. And I think I got that a little crooked. I'm just going to give it a little shimmy. And it's a watercolor kind of wash look, so it doesn't need to be exact. We're going to let that soak into that paper for a moment. And look at that, we get these pretty, beautiful wash of colors. And I don't know about you, these make me think of springtime, so I brought in that Daisy Delight stamp set, and I am so ready for spring. I live in Montana, and I love Montana, but we had snow yesterday. Yuck. Not ready for snow. It's time for spring. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a panel that I pre-stamped. I could go ahead and you can let this dry on its own. You can use your heating tool to dry it, but for the sake of speed, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a prepared panel for us so we can move on and make this a quick video for you guys. So I'm bringing in my Mento Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to tap, I've got a little black ink on that block. I don't want to make a mess. So I'm going to tap one at full height, and I'm going to come in here and do one a little bit shorter, and let's do this one almost full height. So it's up to you how you want that to look. Now, don't anybody freak out, but I actually cut this stamp apart. I was finding that I had an easier time lining these little tops up with the stems by cutting that apart. So don't be afraid to cut your stamps. It's okay. You're not going to ruin them. Just make sure when you're doing that you're not cutting through a vital part of the image. We don't want to miss something by doing that. Okay, there we go. And then I've also done that with this thank you stamp. It was one long stamp. I like to have the options of making it a long one or making it a little bit more condensed by putting the thank on top of the U. So I've done that with this stamp. And I'm going to come in there, stamp my thank you. And let's bring out our inside panel and get all of our stamping done at once. And for the inside, I just brought in this little flower image, and I love the berry burst, so I'm just going to come in and place a little flower on all 4 of the corners. And there we go. Now all I have to do is grab my glue. I don't have that over here, so let me run across the room here, grab that, and we're going to assemble this. I'm going to use, of course, my Tombow Mono Multi. It's my favorite. And we're going to put that on here, lay it down inside, and I'm going to use a little more glue than I might normally use, just because this paper has been wet and I want to make sure that it adheres down nicely to my card. So these would be so easy to mass produce and quickly make a full set of these beautiful, fun cards. And there we go. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Remember, these products are retiring. A new catalog's going to be coming out in June. Don't know the full retirement list, but stay tuned because I should have some information for you guys next week on what products are going to be leaving the Stampin' Up! Catalog. We hate to say goodbye, but we need to make room for new things. So don't forget to grab your paper, stamp, and ink, and find some time to create today. Have a great day.